Hi, my name is Steve Reagan with CSO Online. I am in the South Hall of the RSA conference today, and I'm with Shimon Mooney, Director of Product for TruStar. And today we're going to talk about Incident Exchange. When we talk about Incident Exchange, the real big thing is organizations know the value of sharing data and stuff related to various incidents they're seeing or things they may have heard of, but doing so is easier said than done in most cases. They're worried about being identified, they're worrying about being embarrassed by, we've been phished for some strange reason, or they just actually have a liability risk that they're afraid to address. But you've done something unique to play with that, and that caught my attention, so here we are. Tell me what you have.
Excellent. Well, excellent point first, Steve. Organizations already want to share and exchange information, but one thing that does hold them back, like you pointed out, is the market and liability risk. No one wants to be attributed to a certain incident. No one wants to stand up and say, I got hit by this particular spam or phish. So what we have done is we have built anonymity and redaction tools into the platform that help you quickly sanitize and anonymize your information before you send it out. What other enterprises really want to focus on is what hit you, not who you are. So we focus on extracting the information about what hit you, helping pervade that throughout the entire ecosystem so that other enterprises can get to it quickly, understand what's going on, and fill their gaps. They have operational blind spots that we help identify and address very quickly. So let me show you how we actually do that.
Is this a demo or an actual incident that we're looking at?
So what we are looking at here is an actual incident. And let me switch gears a little bit and talk about the actual value that you get from exchanging incidents. So very quickly, what we do is we look at incidents which are these blue nodes. We automatically extract indicators from these incidents. These are all these smaller nodes right here. In the security parlance, we call them indicators of compromise. That's what security operators really want to focus on. But the way the human brain works is you want to start connecting these dots. That's how the analyst's mind works. So we really focus on connecting these different incidents, connecting the dots, using these different indicators of compromise. Now, one of the things that the security industry really focuses on are sector-specific attacks. Those are definitely true, but what we have seen through TruStar is attacks actually cut across multiple sectors. And when you start looking at incidents that cut across multiple sectors, that's when you can really start filling those blind spots. So here's an incident that was submitted actually just last week. This is a real incident that came into the platform from a financial services sector. We can see as we start pivoting that there are other financial services sector clients that actually saw similar incidents, right? But what we also see, there's someone from the IT sector that connected to this incident using this particular software file. So this was through the milespan. They were dropping a specific file onto your platform. When you drill down into this, so it looks like I've lost internet connectivity.
The demo gods are pleased with us this morning.
I know. So, yeah, nothing's going to work in terms of. Let me just quickly get back online.
So real quickly, it's a tradition in security. Whenever you're trying to do a live demo, it's always going to break on you. And this is what we're seeing now. So give us a minute, we'll fix this.
Demo gods actually smiled on us. Here's a financial service sector incident that connected to other financial services sector incidents. But what was really interesting was to see that there was an IT sector incident that also connected via this specific file, order.zip. When you actually drill down into this, you can now not only see how it's being connected to other sectors, but what kind of infrastructure is being used as part of this attack vector. You can quickly see what kind of registry keys are being modified when this file is dropped. And so if you're only really focused on the financial services sector, you would have gotten some idea of what the attack vector looks like, but by looking at cross-sector incidents, you can now start filling the gaps, get a better understanding of what are the attack vectors, what are the TTPs being used, how are the attackers actually pivoting through and getting into your infrastructure. So that is the real value of incident exchange, really helping you fill those blind spots, understanding what you can do as an operator in the heat of the moment, right? When your hair's on fire, how do I take better action, educated decisions, get there faster?
So there's something in this that I noticed. When you clicked on the IT report, the actual thing that stands out to me of this is that report is actually an open source type of report. It's a thing from Kaspersky Lab when they were talking about one type of threat actor conducting various operations. So in reality, what this is showing me is the stuff that Kaspersky was writing about and warning everybody about. Here are 3 financial service institutions and 1 IT operation who have actually experienced this attack. And now if I'm seeing something suspicious and I'm worried about what Kaspersky just said, I now have proof that I'm not alone, here's what it looks like, and I can take this back, look through my logs or look through my network and say, well, here it is. Now the question is, if I want to share information but I don't want anybody to know who I am, how do we do that?
Excellent point. And that is one of the other core components that we have built into the platform is helping you maintain your anonymity as you want to exchange incidents with not just the TruStar platform, but with others in your community. So let me show you how we actually do that. And I'm going to switch to our demo system so that I can actually walk through and submit an incident. So let's say I'm a security operator. I've seen something malicious happen within my environment, and now I really want to see, hey, what can TruStar tell me that might help me make a better decision? So we allow you to do that through the front end. Again, you're an analyst, you're typing up notes, you may be using Word, Evernote, whatever it is to actually capture your notes. We allow you to quickly drag and drop that through the front end. So let me just put in, oh, great, one more demo god. I'm just gonna put in this guy, right? So this is an example of a spearfish that came in. There's some human readable text, but there's also technical indicators interspersed. So Word document put in, we also have an API where you can programmatically exchange the data. But the real value now comes from being able to quickly sanitize a report. And we allow you to do that using three different ways. You can create a redaction library, populate it with terms that you always want stripped out. Things like names of people, names of companies, names of locations. You can also put in your IP addresses that might map back to your technical infrastructure. So you don't want to be identified based on your IP addresses. So very quickly we allow you to actually fill that up. So the redaction library will always sanitize that. The second way we have is what we call a recommendation engine. That's our TrueCheck feature. It's a mixture of natural language processing and regular expressions, and we will highlight in purple things that look like they could be personally identifiable. Things like names of people, names of locations, credit card numbers, IP addresses, stuff that got missed as part of the redaction library, but now you can actually, we'll give you a recommendation and you can say, okay, I want to redact the name of that person.
Okay.
And when you strip that out, that gets added to the redaction library, so it persists. The library gets smarter over time, gets bigger over time, and that way you have to do less and less of that work. And finally, we also allow you to essentially redact through highlighting. So manually redact that term, get it out of there, and I'm just going to call this other, and again, it gets added to your redaction library. So that is the first part of the anonymization. We also have this notion of what we call enclaves. Think of that as your private community where you get to invite folks that can see that data. One of the core concepts of the platform is governance over your data. You get to choose who gets to see that data. So I can share this within my private enclave, not with the community. It's just going to be visible to folks I have invited into my enclave. And now you can submit it into the platform and make a decision about Do you want to release it to the larger community or just keep it in your enclave?
So the enclave would be something that I would share with my other threat analysts across the country, but we all work for the same company.
Exactly.
Or I could push it out so that, like, during a live demo on the RSA floor, we could pull that up and actually look at it live. Cool. So obviously you've been around for a little bit and you've gotten a few customers under your belts now. When you bring this in, what's their reaction the first time they actually start seeing it?
So one of the core points that we try and get across is there's value from incident exchange. But the first thing that they say is, my hair's on fire, why should I actually exchange, right? How does this fit into my workflow? So we have built this platform to be focused on the human operator. When you look around at a lot of different products, they're not built for the security operator. They're very, very mechanical. They are focused on command line prompts, and that's fine. But what we have done is really focus on how do we allow the human operator to feel like they can actually use the product. So when we start showing them how they can do the drill down analysis, how they can connect the dots, that's when the real aha moment comes in. Put your reports in. Typically when we go to a customer, we'll tell them, test out the system. You don't need to start paying us before you actually see value. Put your historical data in. We'll show them how the data connects to not only within their own data set, but also to the TruStar community. There's value that we can show right away, and that's when the aha moment comes in.
Awesome. So, while threat information, or threat intelligence sharing, data sharing, incident exchange, when it comes to actually getting people to do it, obviously having an easy way to make that happen is one way, but actually getting them to pull the trigger on that. What advice do you have for companies that are still, even after seeing something like this, they're still kind of hesitant? What would you say to them?
Sure. So one of the first things that needs to be articulated is how this can help them. Mm-hmm. Right now it feels like there's death by 1,000 cuts. There's so many different products that are fighting for your attention. How is this actually going to give you value? And what we like to tell our customers and potential users is, you're investing a lot looking at within your four walls. Why aren't you investing looking at beyond your four walls? Look outside, see how others can help you fill up your operational blind spots. And that's where we find real value in the product. You have a microscopic view of your own enterprise. Now get a telescopic view of what's going on outside.
Excellent. Thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to us and show
Likewise.
this off.
Thanks,
My name's Steve Reagan with CSO Online. I've been here all week shooting some video. Stay tuned for more goodies from the floor.